All right, these are the corals from Top Shelf Aquatic. I've given them about 20 minutes to temperature acclimate floating in the tank. And here's my setup getting ready to dip them. So this is what they will be dipped in. I like the colander because I can lift it up and down and get the water moving in it without getting my hands too covered in the coral dip. The coral dip I will be using is Coral RLX. There's nothing special about this compared to other ones. I just seem to like this one. I've gotten good results with it. I guess that makes it special. The other thing is I don't mind the smell of it. I actually think the smell is pretty good. Some of them have like a really pungent smell. This one I just like the smell of. This here is a little bit of tank water. What I will do is after they come out of the dip, I will rinse them off in there, and then finally they will go in here, which is full of tank water, and that's where they will go before they go in the tank. So I like to make sure all the coral dip is off of them first. So I'm going to get started with this, and I will just show you the process as I go along. Okay, the corals are out of the bag and in a 50-50 mix of the bag water and water from the aquarium. Now what I need to do is add the Coral RX, which is going to be a little bit more difficult to do with holding the camera, but you'll see here I already got it 1 capful. It says 4 capfuls to 1 gallon. This is about this is about 3/4 of a gallon. So I am going to be putting 3 capfuls in to the dip, and then what I will do is I will move the water around to make sure it's well mixed. So, all right, 3 capfuls in, and it is time to, what I do is I just lift this up and put it down. Now you can see that the corals are in cups. I'm going to take them out of there because that's going to block the water from moving around them. So I'm going to take them out of that. All right, I took them out of the cup off camera because it's just too hard to work with one hand on this. Now the corals are sitting in the dip water on their own. I wanted to show you these cups because this is something that I think is great when companies send them like this. They just put the plug in this. This protects the coral from bumping around in the bag. Just gives it a little extra nice touch. I know Top Shelf does that, probably some other places too, but just a nice touch. So we have started a timer. We're going to go 10 minutes with this, and I'll be agitating the water by lifting this up and putting it down every minute or so, getting the water movement going, see if anything comes off of it. And in 10 minutes, they'll be ready to come out and go into the clean dip and then finally into the tank water. Okay, we're about halfway through, and as you notice, I've taken the frags off the plugs. If something is going to come in on, like a pest will come in on the corals, it'll most likely come in on the plugs. That's not to say that they can't come in the corals themselves, but eggs and stuff more likely to be on a piece of dead coral, like at the base of the coral has a little bit of dead spot on it, or the plug itself. That's most likely where eggs are going to be. However, I do believe that Top Shelf Aquatic has a good protocol in place for this, but nothing goes in my tank without being thoroughly dipped or quarantined first. So these guys are ready. We got about 5 more minutes to go in the dip, and then they'll be rinsed. The water has been drained from this, so I can easily reach in and get them, and now I'm going to put them into the rinsing water. And I'm going to just, it's not going to be long in there, about 10 seconds or so. I'm just going to rinse them off and drain that water out. Make sure I get the last of that water away, and then they're going to go into here. This is the actual tank water, and that's where they will go until I am ready to place them. All right, here they are inside the tank. They're still inside the specimen box, and very shortly I will find a home for them, a permanent home for them in the tank. Don't judge me, I haven't cleaned the glass today, but that's fine. That'll be coral food later. So in a little bit I'll have them in their spot, and I'll show you that.